what a lovely place it is and what a historic theater it was. Paul Newman also acted there early on, and Orson Welles was my father's best friend.
When Jerry Page needed a wardrobe, you can bet on it that out of all those windows, there will be a few curtains missing.
Congratulations to the Woodstock Fine Arts Association. Wow, 50 years. I'm 39, but I've been told there are many things that have been around 39 years, but 50, that's really something.
Years ago, the three most popular television programs were Bonanza, Wagon Train, and Gunsmoke. So I think we needed the Woodstock Fine Arts Association.
Hi, I'm Joan Benny. It's hard to believe that it's been 10 years since I did my presentation at your beautiful Opera House Theater.
I don't really care whether a person goes into a career in the arts or not as a young kid. Instilling kids with the arts at an early age brings out their own creativity and helps them in whatever walk of life they choose.
Hello, Bill Curtis here.
Life should be celebrated. In Woodstock, Illinois, there are countless opportunities to celebrate life, learn something new, or simply get together with friends at the historic Woodstock Opera House. This didn't happen by accident. In 1961, the Woodstock Fine Arts Association was created to bring programming to the deteriorating Opera House. The group hosted plays and ballets and held theater classes for children. The programs on the Opera House stage brought in the crowds, who began to appreciate the beauty of the old, dilapidated space. Completed in 1889, at a cost of $25,000, the Woodstock Opera House was built of limestone, terracotta, and brick, and the interior was modeled after floating showboats of the period. Serving multiple purposes, the building was home to City Hall, the police station, the fire department, the library, and a fully functioning opera house. In the early days, it was not unusual to hear the clang of the fire department bell during a performance at the Opera House. Like all self-respecting opera houses, Woodstock's has a resident ghost. Elvira has been occupying seat 113 for many years and is regarded more as a poltergeist than an evil spirit. A hostess in residence, Elvira has been gliding around the house for years, sighing loudly when disappointed with the production, for creating a breeze to those who claim to have felt her presence.
Elvira was our ghost in our theater. And I'll tell you what happened once in the balcony. Suddenly, one seat fell down. You hear that sound. Vroom. Well, who would sit on it but Elvira, our ghost?
"60 miles northwest of Chicago, Woodstock is a little off the beaten path. Tree farms, cornfields, and apple orchards paint the landscape, along with Victorian buildings and homes of the period. The town square features an old-fashioned bandstand, cobblestone streets, and the historic Opera House. Seasonal music is played in the park on the square, and the Opera House bell tower rings on the hour. The popular movie Groundhog Day was filmed in Woodstock, and the Opera House temporarily became the Pennsylvania Hotel. In the film, actor Bill Murray jumped from the opposite side of the bell tower about 2 feet down, safely landing on a soft pad the Opera House staff built on the roof.
Everybody hold it quiet now. Roll camera. Let's speed on all cameras. Speed on me. Take your own cue, Rick.
The movie has become a classic. Accurately depicting the charming rural community. Today, the Woodstock Opera House bustles with life.
Lady with the white shirt who's sitting down on the aisle. Yes, ma'am, you.
But in 1960, the Opera House had fallen into great disrepair. Lighting and sound systems were old and cranky. Pigeons flew through holes in the roof, and the heating system rarely warmed the auditorium. There was talk of demolishing the old building and making way for a new parking lot.
There was a national focus on tearing down unnecessary buildings to build necessary parking lots.
The Woodstock Fine Arts Association was determined to move forward with their plans to develop a lecture series to raise money and awareness to help restore the beloved building.
In 1964, we celebrated the 75th anniversary of the Opera House, and we planned a gala benefit, and while we were working on it, Helen Wright, who was one of the most important people in the 50-year history of fine arts and creative living, she thought we should have a lecture series here.
While the Fine Arts Association hosted a variety of programming, Helen's idea was to sponsor a series of speakers. A small fee would be charged for a program ticket, followed by coffee and conversation. And so it all began. The Creative Living Series, the 1964 version of social networking.
And so finally he said something to me, and I thought,
you know, after hearing him say that to me, I don't know if I can continue working here. What he said to me was, "You're fired."
When these visionary women launched the series, the world was a very different place. There were no computers or internet, no cable or satellite television, no cell phones, cooking shows, or HGTV. It was difficult to find inspiration, history, culture, and design ideas. But there was the Creative Living series, where ticket holders, mostly women from all over northern Illinois, came to be educated and entertained.
I'm Jeffrey Lyons, and I'm proud to have been a part of the Woodstock Fine Arts Association and the Creative Living series. I spoke there in 2008, substituting for Beatrice Wells, my dear friend Orson Welles' daughter. Orson was my father, Leonard Lyons' best friend. Funny story about Orson was that he needed a script. He'd misplaced his radio script, and he got the great writer William Saroyan to write a script in half an hour, and Saroyan, for good measure, wrote a song in 5 minutes. By this time, Orson had found the script, didn't need the song for his radio show, so Saroyan, rather than being stuck with the song, sold it to Mitch Miller, and he had Rosemary Clooney sing, "Come on to my house, say come on."
60 miles northwest of Chicago, at what would become the second stop from the end of the commuter line, these women saw the future. They hosted writers and chefs, philosophers and poets, historians, artists, musicians, and astrologers, even TV news anchors like me. The name Creative Living series is as timely today as it was then.
Anyone who has possession.
Congratulations first on 50 years of supporting this building, of supporting arts in our community and in our larger region, and tonight for supporting education. In addition to be able to support through the legacy the bricks and mortar of this facility, the Fine Arts Association has also moved their vision into other important areas. The provision of theatrical performances at the Opera House by supporting those of other producers, but serving as their own producer with the Creative Living series. For 50 years now, they have brought many speakers, performers, artists, and artisans to our community to broaden our understanding of music, art, and culture, those things that provide the richness of the fabric of our larger community.
The Creative Living series continues today as one of the oldest ongoing lecture series in the nation. Run by a group of volunteers and not connected to a university. 6 times a year, from fall to spring, speakers journey to Woodstock and ticket holders fill the house. The honored poet Gwendolyn Brooks was invited to speak at the Creative Living series in 1965, yet she seemed reluctant to come, even though she lived in nearby Chicago. She wasn't pleased with the $150 honorarium she was offered, so she countered with my fee for outside the Chicago area, $400. The astute fine arts president, Esther Waniak, was able to convince her to venture out to Woodstock with, quote, "We're not really as close to the end of the earth as we seem to be." Gwendolyn Brooks arrived, read her poetry on the Opera House stage, and was adored by her audience. As the series grew in popularity, convincing performers to visit Woodstock became much easier. Popular speakers were occasionally invited for a return engagement, and return they did, in spite of the distance from Chicago.
So, I mean, we're seeing that a lot of people needing money are cleaning out their jewelry boxes. Hi, I'm Leslie Heineman. The Woodstock Fine Arts Association is amazing. In fact, I'd say priceless. Happy anniversary to them and many, many more to come.
During the 2 years the Opera House was being restored, the series did not stop, but continued without interruption. Programs were held in the local movie theater or a church. Although many groups were involved, the Woodstock Fine Arts Association provided the inspiration and encouragement to restore the building to its original state and to seek National Historic Landmark status. A 1972 letter from the head of the Theater Architectural Department at Yale University commended the Woodstock Fine Arts Association for their dogged persistence in saving the Opera House. The grand old lady of the Woodstock Square is now beautifully restored and listed on the National Historic Registry. Over the years, many legendary actors have graced the Opera House stage. Orson Welles, Geraldine Page, Shelley Berman, Tom Bosley, Betsy Palmer, and Paul Newman appeared in many theater productions. Several of these performers have returned to the Opera House as creative living speakers. The variety of speakers over the 50 years has been remarkable, from the famous to the fascinating, and everyone in between. They were invited to take part in the Creative Living series.
Hi, members of the Woodstock Fine Arts Association. Congratulations on your 50th anniversary. You deserve all the credit you get, and a lot more. I'm proud to say that I was a participant in your Creative Living series, and as keepers of the Woodstock Opera House, you've raised that city to a new high level. Again, congratulations on your 50th anniversary.
Although it's impossible to list all 300 speakers, the power of the series is reflected in just a few of the names. Author Stuart Brent appeared 4 times. Reflecting the popularity of astrology in the 70s, Catherine de Jersey and Irene Hughes each appeared twice, explaining the unexplainable, horoscopes. Dr. Lester Fisher, director of Lincoln Park Zoo, brought a boa constrictor to the reception after his program, and the paleontologist Dr. Paul Sereno brought dinosaur bones. Joel Daly, John Calloway, Wally Phillips, Rick Cogan, Jeannie Morris, and Carol Marine spoke of broadcasting and their love of Chicago. Gene Siskel delighted the audience in 1990, giving a thumbs up to the Creative Living series. Film critic Jeffrey Lyons appeared in 2008. Poets Maya Angelou and Billy Collins read their magical words to the mesmerized audience. Chefs were always favorites. Chef Louis Zathmary from The Bakery, Jeff Smith, The Frugal Gourmet, Jacques Pepin, Abby Mandel, The Hardy Boys, Charlie Trotter, and top chef master Rick Bayless all left the audience with recipes and dreams of the perfect meal. After writer Gus Russo shared stories of the mob from his true-to-life book, The Outfit, some of the women from Fine Arts Association took him to the grave of Woodstock's infamous Johnny Stompanato. Martha Stewart appeared in 1988, flying into Milwaukee Airport instead of O'Hare. The brave women from Fine Arts served her lunch after the program. Colin Cowie helped plan parties and create the perfect setting. B. Smith, Chris Matton, and Lady Henrietta Spencer Churchill shared creative ideas. Leslie Hindman, the first female auctioneer, was a speaker in 1985, returning in 2012 to speak about collecting and appraising. Richard Hunt spoke of his sculptures. Mortimer Adler discussed his Great Books program. Letitia Baldridge talked banners. And Beverly Sills enchanted the audience with her love of opera. Kathy O'Malley and Judy Markey from WGN's Kathy and Judy Show delighted the audience with tales from their personal lives. The Chicago mystery writer Sarah Paretsky held a skull while she talked about her books. The indomitable Studs Terkel captivated the audience in 2002 at the age of 90 in his signature red gingham checkered shirt. Dr. Michael Roizen inspired healthy living. And Dr. Steve Belinkie provided insights on the medical conditions of several U.S. presidents. Writers Ann Patchett, Jane Hamilton, and Amy Dickinson charmed their reading fans. Travel expert Rick Steves brought Europe to the Woodstock Opera House, one suitcase at a time, even explaining the best way to pack for an adventure. Joan Benny spoke about her famous father, Jack Benny.
I think it might be fun to show you a few pictures that sort of ties into the Arts Association, like my dad. This is my dad with Isaac Stern. And here's my dad, well, I don't know how arty this is, but it's with Marilyn Monroe. And here he is with Pablo Casals. Here are two of my very favorite pictures. One long time ago, this was my 18th birthday, and this was my father's opening night at the Palladium in London. And this was the very last picture he took before he died in 1974, and I think it's kind of wonderful. I wish all of you at the Woodstock Fine Arts Association a very happy 50th anniversary.
Beatrice Wells remembered her father, Orson Welles, on the same stage where he had acted as a boy.
You don't have to go to a big city to find people who love art and who know about art. When you come to hometown America like Woodstock, you get to see people who are real, and real Americans who do love their history and their art.
This is young Dr. Mike Royce, and yes, I'm on a treadmill desk. When I knew that Real Age made it was when we were invited to the Woodstock Opera House, and I got to talk in that classic form to try and influence people to do healthier things. And yeah, everything, virtually everything that goes on at Woodstock makes you younger. So stay with it.
Comedian Shelley Berman returned to the Woodstock Opera House, reminiscing about his earlier performances on the stage.
I have Woodstock to thank for an awful lot. Woodstock wasn't just a town. It was a whole bunch of people who subsidized a bunch of actors and helped them do what they have to do.
Hi, Woodstock. Come on.
Hi.
Pianist and expert in American popular song, Richard Glazier, brought Gershwin to life in two separate appearances. The Opera House and the Woodstock Fine Arts Association are inexorably linked, like the past and the future. And the Creative Living series continues to fill the Opera House with appreciative patrons and enthusiastic performers.
These are our Oscar-winning art. They're handsome, beautiful, debonair, rich, all those wonderful things.
Since 1961, the Woodstock Fine Arts Association has kept its promise to support the Opera House.
Fine Arts Association fills a very valuable niche here at the Opera House in providing programs like lectures, children's programs where we bring the kids in from the schools and expose them, and sometimes for the first time, to the arts in general. They also do valuable fundraising and help make projects a reality here, mostly restoration projects, but they've also provided furnishings and decor and so many things it's hard to even count all of the projects over the years that Fine Arts has done for this institution.
McHenry County High School seniors gifted in the arts are awarded college scholarships and perform on the stage at the annual Talent Showcase. celebrating 50 years of successful programming. Congratulations. Good luck.
Happy 50th anniversary!
One more thing, I'm Bob Surratt. Congratulations to the Woodstock Fine Arts Association. Wow, 50 years. 50 more.